It's growing unlikely Democrats will pass President Biden's $2 trillion social spending bill by their Christmas deadline. A source tells CBS News discussions over the social and climate package have soured between President Biden and Senator Joe Manchin. The Democrat from West Virginia now reportedly wants to eliminate an expansion of the child tax credit from the bill. According to the Washington Post, a group of West Virginia parents dialed into a video call Wednesday to urge Senator Manchin to support the expanded benefit. But minutes before the call was supposed to begin, one of Manchin's aides emailed parents asking to reschedule. Yeganeh Torbati wrote that report and joins me now. She's an economic policy investigative reporter for the Washington Post. Yeganeh, welcome. Explain to us why Senator Manchin is taking issue with an expansion of the child tax credit in particular.
Well, Senator Manchin has made clear over the past few months that he is pretty skeptical of the child tax credit. In particular, he's talked about, the fact that it goes to parents without any sort of work requirement in place, especially in this expanded version, which the Biden administration has championed and which most Democrats want to continue. And so, these are sort of social spending benefits that Senator Manchin, as a fairly conservative Democrat, is pretty skeptical of. And so that has been a big sticking point between him and the Biden administration, as well as him and other Democrats in Congress.
Well, how have we seen the expanded child tax credit actually help families in West Virginia?
Sure. Well, West Virginia is a relatively poor state, and the fact that the expanded version of the tax credit went from $2,000 to, at its highest level, $3,600 for children 5 and under, that really goes a long way in a state like West Virginia. Also, West Virginia has a pretty high proportion of grandparents who are raising their grandchildren, and that's partially due to the legacy of the opioid epidemic. Obviously, grandparents are often on a fixed income, on sort of living off of retirement benefits or Social Security. And so getting an extra $300 or $250 per child to those families has made a big difference. Fewer West Virginians are reporting hunger issues. There have been, surveys done showing that a lot of families support continuing these benefits. And so it's had a big impact in a state like West Virginia.
So, Yeganeh, if this has benefited Senator Manchin's constituents, if they are now lobbying to try and get him to support it, is there any indication that that he might change his position, particularly on this issue?
He holds somewhat conservative views when it comes to these sorts of economic social benefit programs. And of course, West Virginia is a very conservative state. He is one of the last, perhaps the last statewide elected Democrat. And so he, is facing a pretty tenuous and difficult political situation. And also, it seems like his own personal views lean more towards being skeptical or, somewhat against the child tax credit in its expanded form. However, it is sort of a key thing that Democrats have been touting. They've been talking about the child tax credit and how much it has cut child poverty. It's something that is clearly very important to President Biden, even though they have scaled back the length of the renewal. They are still hoping to get it for at least one more year. And so it's sort of a question. We might have to wait and see whether Senator Manchin is willing to cut talks over the entire deal over this one issue, whether the White House will step back or whether they can come to some sort of agreement. And it's just unclear. And as you said, it definitely, it seems like it definitely won't happen by Christmas.
Yeah. I spoke with a leader of the AARP who says that they are strongly supportive of the prescription drug portion of the bill, as well as some other things that benefit seniors. I'm wondering, Yeganeh, what other lobbying efforts and influence is Senator Manchin facing when it comes to his stance on the Build Back Better package?
Yeah, it's a really good question. There are business lobbies that are, of course, against Build Back Better because of the tax increases that are included in it. And they are really strongly targeting Senator Manchin, Senator Kirsten Sinema, because, they, of course, don't want those tax increases to pass. They are trying to sort of impress upon these senators some of the opposition, perhaps in their home states, particularly, again, in West Virginia, which is overall a more conservative state. And so it's, we don't know exactly how things are going to play out, but those business lobbies are certainly pressuring some of these swing votes.
All right. Yeganeh Torbati, thank you.